Hi there, folks. Sean Brodrick at the Metals Investor Forum 2018, and I'm speaking to Mr. Robert Cinits. Now, he's the VP of Corporate Development for Entrée Resources. This is a story you have to hear. One of the biggest copper gold resources in the world that is going to be turned into a mine. Could you please tell the viewers exactly what your company is up to?
Absolutely. Good to be here, Sean. So Entrée Resources has a joint venture on a portion of the Oyu Tolgoi copper gold project in Mongolia. We've held the project, or the joint venture rather, since 2003, but there's been some big advances that have happened lately that have made the project a lot more exciting for ourselves and for our investors. So I'm not sure if you know how well the mineralization has been outlined so far, but there's about a 13-kilometer length of copper gold porphyries that have been worked on by initially by Ivanhoe, and now they're the new joint venture company, which is called Oyu Tolgoi LLC. Those deposits strike off of their property onto the joint venture ground, and where they strike off, it's known as the Hugo North Extension Deposit to the north, and on the south end, it's called the Heruga Deposit.
Okay. Rio Tinto is involved though, right?
Rio Tinto has been designated as the operator and builder of the project because of their 51% ownership of Turquoise Hill Resources.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so now your part of the project will go into production, you said 2020?
That's correct. So the mine is already in production on their portion of the ground through an open pit. And it's been in operation since about 2013. However, 80% of the value of the overall project for them is in the underground. And this is what they're marching towards and trying to develop. We are in the first phase development of the underground, which is known as Lift 1. And this will be mined through a block cave, which is some people will know is a very cheap method of underground mining. So that starts in about 2021 when the development migrates onto our property. It's all in ore, so we will actually be getting revenues and cash flows from at a low level starting in 2021, and then the block cave actually migrates onto the property in 2026, and from that point on, the amount of material that goes through are attributable to us, and our cash flows will start to increase.
Okay, well, so it's kind of a waiting game for you guys now, but there's still plenty of work that has to be done that your company is actually accomplishing now.
That's right. There's, one of the main things is we recently came out with a new technical report. So it updates the reserves on Lift 1, but more importantly for us, it also has a chapter which talks about a life of mine PEA as an alternative scenario. And this life of mine PEA is effectively a 66-year mine life, which brings in the same Lift 1, but also immediately below it, there's a second lift, which will come in immediately following Lift 1, and then our other deposit at the other end of the 12-kilometer length of mineralization, Heruga. So we're pretty excited about that. And one of the main highlights of that is over that life of mine, that generates an undiscounted cash flow of over $2 billion.
Wow.
So given the fact that this deposit or this mine is actually financed already, over $5 billion have been raised by a consortium of international banks. It's being built by Rio Tinto, one of the largest mining companies in the world, who have a lot of experience dealing with underground operations. It's quite de-risked in that regard, and so it's a nice opportunity to have, and it also has a very long potential life if Lift 2 and Heruga eventually come into operation as well.
Okay, what kind of highlights can we look for from your company, say, over the course of the year?
Well, one thing that we're trying to do is to inform our shareholders about the royalty-like characteristics of this. Because of there is no need for us to actually raise capital to participate in this. Rio Tinto debt finances us, or rather OTLLC, debt finances us at prime plus 2%, and we only repay out of 90% of cash flows. So we do get cash flows right from the very start. But I want we're trying to inform the shareholders of this opportunity that we don't have to go back to the bank and raise money for this. We currently have about $7.5, almost $8 million US in our treasury, and that will be a sufficient amount to carry us through to production. There's another interesting thing that I'll mention. All of our interest is based on the current defined deposits. All of them, which are quite deep, they're below 560 meters vertical. All of that we have a 20% interest in. However, there are some nearer surface prospects that are being developed by our partners now. Anything above 560 meters to surface, we actually have a 30% interest in.
Interesting.
So there's some very early stage, but interesting prospects that are starting to be developed, and so we're going to watch this quite carefully. They have talked about possibly doing some drilling in this year, so we're quite excited about that. And those would be some of the short-term catalysts that you can look forward to.
Okay, what's the stock symbol?
The stock symbol, it trades in Toronto, ETG, and we also are on the NASDAQ.
I believe the same symbol, isn't it? ETG down there, or?
EGI.
EGI, okay,
Yes.
good. Well, good thing you corrected me.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we go?
No, I just I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and look forward to talking to any shareholders and try to tell them more about this exciting opportunity.
Okay, stay tuned, folks. Really, this company has a great piece of a tremendously large project, and it's going to come into play over time, and really they're in the catbird seat there, so it is one to watch. Stay tuned. This is Sean Brodrick at the Metals Investor Forum 2018. Thanks for talking to the folks. You folks stay tuned.